Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at the Lenovo IdeaTab A2109. Not to be confused with the S2109 we looked at a couple of months ago. This one is pretty much exclusive to Best Buy in the US, and it lists for only $299, which isn't too bad for a 9-inch 1280 by 800 Android 4.0 tablet with a Tegra 3 processor. Take a look on the back. It's not too bad looking, not too beautiful, but then again, for $299 and discounted to around $250 at Best Buy, how much can you expect? Certainly a lot of power for the price, and we're going to look at it now. So Lenovo IdeaPad A2109 is available now, and again, it's pretty much a Best Buy item. You may find it at some other stores. List price is $299 for the 16 gig, though Best Buy right now is selling it for $259, and we wouldn't be surprised if other retailers discount it. Lenovo tends to go with discount prices themselves on their website, though I haven't found this one listed. You will find the S2109, which is a 9.7-inch tablet we reviewed a couple of months ago. Not the same as this tablet here. This one has a 9-inch display and a 1.2 gigahertz NVIDIA Tegra 3 CPU, whereas the S2109 has a 1 gigahertz TI OMAP CPU and a bigger 9.7-inch better display. Speaking of better, this is not an IPS display. Reasonably good brightness, around 310 nits or so. It has clarity, certainly text is sharp, the colors are saturated. The challenge with this guy is that viewing angles are not very good. You go beyond 45 degrees off angle, I mean, you can be like, right, you know, looking kind of from an angle, it's okay, but when you start getting really far to the side, you're going to see color inversion on the sides, you're going to see it darken if you're looking at it from the top, and you're going to see it get overly white from the bottom. So if you're looking for a tablet that you can share with other folks sitting beside you, or that you plan to use, like many of us do, at odd angles, you leave it flat on the table while you're sitting up and reading on the table, not the tablet for you. You're going to want to put it in a stand or prop it up or something like that. Still, again, for $259, certainly you get a pretty decent package for the price. 1280 by 800 display, 9 inches across, and you've got a Tegra 3 quad-core CPU, so right now that's pretty much the top dog CPU on Android tablets, and it performs well. In benchmarks, it scored 4,500 in Quadrant, and it managed a SunSpider score of 1753, which is pretty good. It's up there with other top tablets, not the record breaker, but good solid. And for GL Benchmark 2.5's Egypt test, off-screen, we got 31 FIPS, and classic on-screen 52 FIPS, so good performance there. Certainly you can play all those nice Tegra Zone games with enhanced effects, water splashing on the screen kind of thing. Yeah, it's certainly going to be a powerful tablet for the money. You got 1 gig of RAM inside, again 16 gigs of storage. According to Lenovo, there's an 8 gig model available. I actually haven't seen that. In terms of ports, we'll take a look around on the side. On the side here we have our volume controls kind of raised at each end, so that's good for tactile feel. We have our headphone jack, there's a microphone hole, rotation lock here, something you don't always see on a tablet. Nothing much going on up top here. And here we have micro HDMI port, and we have micro USB port, another microphone hole. Nothing on the bottom. And this is certainly not what I call the apex of convenience. You notice that there was a little ridge around here, and this little piece looked like it might pop off. Guess what? You stick a screwdriver in the little slot up top, see where that cutout is, and you pop off this, and it's pretty hard. Once you pop it off, it goes, pops right back on again. But that's how you're going to get to your microSD card slot. Well, happily, it's easier to get this piece back on again than it is to get it off, though. It's pretty easy to nick the little spot right here, as you can see, where you stick your pry thing in. Even my nice long fingernails weren't doing the job. But anyway, this is your 3 megapixel camera under here. As you might guess, 3 megapixels. This is not a star shooter. It's certainly better than nothing, but not a super duper great camera. And you have a front 1 megapixel video chat camera as well. And here are our stereo speakers with SRS True Media sound. Pretty good volume, a little on the harsh side, but they make plenty of sound. In terms of overall design, this is a plastic gray back, not too exciting, not super duper thin, not horribly thick either, and it weighs 1.3 pounds, which is, you know, just around typical, shall we say, for the lighter Android tablets. Granted, this is a smaller screen size. This is 9 inches at a 10.1, so we expect it to be a little bit lighter, but that's certainly not a terrible weight for the size. In terms of comfort, it's fairly comfortable to hold. Instead of having straight sides, it actually cuts in a little bit on the edges here. And this edge is fairly abrupt. It's well machined and it's smooth, but it's a little bit abrupt. It might dig into your hand. In terms of user interface, this is pretty much what we've seen from Lenovo's recent tablets. You get these little post-it note style widgets here, and some of them are handy. Some of them are just groupings, so you can see all of your VoIP kind of apps together in the same thing, multimedia apps. And this is a little note app right here, so you can make little, well, post-it notes to yourself. And there's the large on-screen keyboard. No complaints about that either. It has pretty good auditory sound. You can hear a little clicky sounds. Teeny bit of haptic feedback there. This is Android 4.04 Ice Cream Sandwich. You have multiple home screens, and you can see we have the cube kind of effect, and you can choose the effect that you like. This is pretty responsive, actually, this UI here. Not that that matters so much. I mean, it's nice to see this being fast. But it's a little bit faster than the Lenovo S2110, a higher-end tablet that we recently reviewed that has an ASUS Transformer-like detachable dock. A tablet overall that I like better, but of course it is also more expensive. If you tap there, you get your usual Android app drawer, and Lenovo likes to load a whole lot of third-party stuff on there. Some of it's useful, some of you might not find so useful. We get AccuWeather, we get Kindle. You get documents to go, and that's the full version, so you can view, edit, and create MS Office documents. Lenovo's usual bevy of card games is not here this time. We have Printer Share for Lenovo, Sugar Sync, Norton Internet Security. News Republic is preloaded as well. A couple of games. Not too bad. And some of those are removable if you don't like them, and Evernote, because Lenovo loves Evernote, but that's okay, so do I. When it comes to widgets, we've got a bunch of Lenovo ones. We've got ones for their App Store, which sadly is actually going away. We've got World Clock, we've got the AccuWeather widget, we've got more widgets, we've got clock widgets, email widgets, and the usual Google widgets too. The tablet has single-band Wi-Fi 802.11bgn. This is not available with 3G. It's a Wi-Fi only tablet. It has Bluetooth and it has a GPS with a GPS. Interesting again, the S2110 does not have a GPS, that higher-end tablet I mentioned before, unless you get it with the 3G option. Since this is a Tegra 3, it performs very quickly when you're running demanding applications like games. We're going to demo that for you. It does just fine loading web pages, playing streaming video, playing 1080p video. Not a problem for you. You can use it with Netflix, all the usual multimedia online services, and of course Google's own movies, their music services too. Work just great on it. And something you guys will probably be thrilled about. You see here we have Adobe Flash Player 11.1 that's pre-installed. I did not install that, so Lenovo is still pre-installing that. And what's the big deal? Well, Adobe stopped offering that on the Google Play Store in the middle of August, so now you've got to hunt it down and sideload it yourself if you want. So it's nice to know that it's here on board. Web browsing performance is just fine. Again, this is a 9-inch display, but it's still the usual 1280 by 800 resolution, so you're going to get the 16 by 9 aspect ratio. That's good for playing videos. We've got our own website loaded here. A little bit of a slowness there, but this time it's fine for pinch zooming. Overall, it's been quite good, and we'll check out a Flash video player by looking at our video review of the Amazon Kindle Paperwhite. Obviously, we are streaming this over Wi-Fi since this is not a 3G or 4G tablet.
This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and today we're going to look at the Kindle Paperwhite. This is Amazon's latest Mobile Tech Review.
And now we've got it popped out to full screen, and you can see it's playing just fine. It looks good, and again, we're using Adobe Flash to do this. And now to test out gaming, we're going to play Dead Trigger, because it's a pretty demanding game. And you can hear the speakers right now, they're at half volume, so they are pretty loud. And so now we're at the beginning, and we can see some of the Tegra 3 things, like the water puddle going on there. Lots of particles flying around. Seeing an occasional frame drop, though, which I wouldn't expect on a Tegra 3 quad-core tablet with GeForce graphics. Seems like Lenovo could have pushed it a little bit harder for better performance. And for those of you who are thinking about getting the Nexus 7, maybe instead we have that in front of Lenovo tablet right now, so you can see the difference in size. Obviously, you've got the same resolution on both these tablets, but you've got more screen real estate on the Lenovo. That can be nice if you want to watch movies a lot. That's one of your prime reasons for using this, even for reading web pages without having to pinch zoom. So if you get the 16 gig Nexus 7, it's also $250, which again, if you look around, you might find Lenovo for. So really, it becomes a matter of what you're looking for in a tablet in terms of screen size, first and foremost. And also, with the Nexus 7, you get those updates early from Google, which is pretty nice. The tablet has a 2-cell, 6,000 milliamp lithium-ion battery that is sealed inside. Decent capacity battery for a tablet this size, and so far we found that it does go for about 8 hours on a charge in mixed use. Some web browsing, some video playback, some music playback, general all about use. So that's the Lenovo IdeaTab A2109 9-inch Android 4.0 tablet. Again, it's available now. You can find it at Best Buy, probably a couple of other stores too, and its claim to fame is its price. It lists for $299 for the 16 gig, and you might find it for as low as $250. And for that price, it's not a bad tablet. Yes, it is not the greatest display we've ever seen. Viewing angles are not very good, but if you're looking at it from straight on right here, it looks just fine, as you can see. Nice colors, sharp, clear, decent brightness, about 310 nits of brightness. Tegra 3 processor in there, lets you play Tegra Zone games, 1.2 gigahertz clock speed. Not the fastest performance we've seen from the Tegra 3, but nothing terribly low either. Has micro HDMI, micro SD card slot, and very basic beginner cameras. Again, for the price, not too bad. If you're looking for a 10-inch class tablet, and I would still put this much closer to that versus something like, say, the Nexus 7, then this is one of your most affordable options, and it's a name brand. So instead of looking at some of those brands you've never heard of in the bargain aisle at Best Buy or Fry's or wherever you are, this one comes from a reliable company, and it's pretty well made. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Visit our website for the full review, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.